Hi, I'm Jim.
I'm Joe.
Hi, my name's Mark.
Hi, I'm JoJo.
Hi, I'm Sean.
My name is David Lopes.
Hey, my name is Christoph.
Hi, my name is Trevor.
I'm Megan Gahn, and I live in Dorchester with Caroline.
I guess for as long as I could remember, there was such not a pressure, but expectation that you would get married, you would have a big house, you would have the yacht club membership, 3 kids, a dog, cat, the whole works. And for a really long time, I just didn't feel like that was in the cards for me.
I remember being a kid on the playground and wanting to be part of a group. But I don't remember ever seeing someone just like me.
You're constantly the odd one out. You're constantly the kid that never gets picked to play anything or be in anybody's, come over to anybody's house and hang out because you are different.
And it seemed like I was always the last one picked. And if I was picked and placed on a team, I was the first one to be made fun of for my lack of athleticism.
At 14, I came to my guidance counselor then and said, I know I'm gay. And I didn't know how to handle that. A, coming from a Catholic family, being in a very religious school setting.
There were definitely times when I was extremely depressed and, didn't really know exactly kind of where I fit in.
I don't actually remember that much of junior high. I think I blocked most of it out. I know I got pushed around and called a fag a lot. But I mostly just remember being scared all the time.
Was difficult in that I knew that I couldn't be out or tell anybody, especially my parents who were immigrants and grew up in the Middle East, and I wasn't sure how they would take it.
Probably late high school, I decided to check the whole religious thing out, mostly to see if I could get rid of the feelings that I was having for other men.
I sort of surrounded myself with religion as a way of masking who I was. It was a way of sort of shielding myself because I figured people would think, well, he's religious, so he can't be gay. He just might be, effeminate or something.
I remember hearing, even as growing up, you hear the things about, people who are gay, this is a bad thing, and if you listen hard enough, they say you're going to hell, and this is an evil, and you're doing something that's disgusting or dirty.
I'm 26 now, but I can remember high school like it was yesterday, and feeling alone, having friends, but not really having friends that understood or knew every part of you.
I had a lot of girlfriends, but not many girlfriends, so to speak. So that was subject to a lot of teasing for me growing up.
I was outed at 13 years old, which was an experience that I don't wish upon anybody. I mean, there's a difference between coming out and it's a completely different thing to be outed.
Growing up, high school and college, I basically faked it to make it. I did sports. I was popular, homecoming court, prom court. The whole I had fun. It was great. But when I was always by myself at night, whenever I would be home, I always felt alone. I never felt as though I was being true to myself.
I tried to be as feminine as I could and dated men, and I didn't want to give into it.
My Friday nights were spent, at home in my room by myself, and that was all of junior high, that was high school.
I realized that I was internalizing so much fear and anxiety about coming out. I was afraid that I would lose friends. I was afraid I would lose family.
Growing up, I used to hate sports because I was small, and also because I remember hearing some of the things guys would say, like in the locker room.
My sophomore year in college, I was walking back from a party, and 2 guys on one of the other sports teams thought, well, we're going to call him faggot and then chase after him and try to beat him up.
As they were announcing the homecoming court, someone yelled out, "James Shank for homecoming queen," as loud as he possibly could, and the entire school, literally the entire school, laughed at me. Everybody.
I was thinking around 11 or 12. I remember my brothers were gone, and my mother and my stepfather, they were gone, and I remember going into the kitchen and picking up the butcher knife.
I just thought, that's it. That's it. I'd put up with people snickering at me, and I put up with people saying things to me in the halls and not being outright belligerent, but just sort of small things. But this was this one huge thing that happened.
And I remember standing there for like, oh God, it must have been like, I felt like hours, but it was probably like 20 minutes.
I remember coming out to people, and days before, weeks before, months before, I was nauseated. I was just like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I don't know what's the reaction, and some people did react badly.
I was scared to death. I thought I would be completely alienated from my family. And the first thing my mom said to me, with tears in her eyes, was, "Are you the same Joanne that I raised?" And I said, "Yes." And and she said, then I love you the same as I always have.
Ultimately, once we got past that, it was just so much of a relief.
Both my parents, after working through it and having their own time, were supportive, but always validated how hard and how scary coming out is, and that, you know, everyone does need to do it on their own time.
There's definitely times where you want to give up, but you can't, because once you leave high school, once you actually see the world around you, there's just more accepting people than not.
You know, what those people are saying isn't important. Don't even think about it. Let it roll off your back. I mean, all that is so hard to digest when you're in that situation, but when you grow up and you think, God, why did that bother me? You know, why would I let somebody like that get to me?
If I could tell myself something 10 years ago and go back and see little Sean, little fat Sean, who didn't have any friends, one thing, it would be to stop trying to make friends by fitting in. You make more friends by being yourself and standing out.
You just have to make steps in the right direction, be honest with yourself. You find out who your friends are and who your friends aren't, and that's all part of the process.
I realized that it was like, this is who I am. I should be proud of who I am.
Once I learned how to be myself and that it was okay to be myself, everyone just accepted me for who I was.
The world that we all grow up in somehow is shaped by small-minded bigots, but I get to shape the world that I live in now.
People in my life that matter the most know who I am, and I will never again be intimidated or worried about expressing that to anybody.
The people out there who hate, who preach against gay and lesbian people or any kind of difference, they don't follow a God that I believe in.
There's so many people that are out there that when you're 14, you feel, I'm the only one out here. You're not.
When you're ready to move on, you meet wonderful people who are very embracing and kind and supportive.
I think that the only way that life does get better is if you invest in life, and the only way that you can invest in life is by living it. Had I not given myself the opportunity, I wouldn't know all the wonderful people that I know. I wouldn't have experienced so many great things in my life.
It gets better. Going to college, still didn't know many gay people. Went to seminary. I'm a Lutheran pastor now, and serve in Quincy as an out gay man.
The friends I made after I came out, you know, they're still my friends now, and like seriously, my life now is so much better. I feel more free. Even though I'm single, one day our prince will come.
I'm here now, a few years later, with the love of my life, who is a man, and I could not imagine being happier or more content with who I am and where I am.
My boyfriend's coming home with me for Christmas for the first time ever. So it's something that I'm actually really excited about.
Megan and I have been together for 10 years. We're getting married next year.
One of the greatest moments of my life was when I got married to Joe, and I can tell you that, you know, all of that stupid poetry that they make you read in high school and all the cliches and everything else, it all makes sense finally, and you know, you find this person that you know you are going to spend the rest of your life with.
Craig and I have been together for about 4 years now. The whole time we've actually been in the league, and it's been a big part of us being together.
I've been in this flag football league in Boston for the last 3 years, and this year I'm a captain. I've met so many amazing people in this league from so many different varying stories.
You know, we can be openly gay and say, you know, wow, he's pretty hot, and still play football. And play football really seriously. I mean, people take it seriously. And
who would have thought that somebody like me would be playing football at 42?
We've been on the same team twice, and loved every minute of it. And now he's got me on the basketball team. We'll see how that goes.
You know, people say, why gay sports? Why not just play in regular leagues? And I've had that question many times. But the camaraderie is different, the friendships are different, and the simple fact that these leagues are very social, and you stay friends off the field for years to come. I'm hoping that, actually I know that a lot of these folks will be friends for the rest of my life.
You are going to affect somebody's life, and in a good way. And you are going to change one person's opinion about gay people or being perceived as gay, lesbian, transgender, bisexual, whatever the case may be. You could change somebody's view for the better.
Allow yourself to realize how great being different is and find out what that difference is. If that difference means that you're gay, if that difference means that you're bisexual or transgendered, that's great. That's not bad. That's fantastic.
As I've gotten older in life, I've known more and more gay people, more and more straight people who are supportive and affirming and welcoming and loving.
There are people out here who are dedicating our lives to make it better for you.
If you have a problem, go to a guidance counselor. Go to someone that you trust. Go to someone that you can understand. Don't ever try to take your life. It's too valuable. Things will happen in your life that you will never expect.
There are people out there that love you that you may have not even met yet, and you shouldn't deny yourself happiness. You shouldn't deny yourself your life because it is worth something, even if it's just for one person.
The world's changing. Even 5 years ago, gay people were thought of differently than they are today. I mean, never mind 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Not just the people around you, but just everything, everybody in the world. Just give it time. Everybody's going to eventually come to terms with it.
Things improve and things just continue to get a lot better.
It will get better.
It gets better.
It gets better.
It gets better.
It gets better. It gets better.
It gets better.
If you have questions about sexuality or gender identity, if you're looking for a resource in your area, or you just need someone to talk to who understands and has gone through what you're dealing with, there's a great resource out there in Fenway Health.
Fenway Health is a strong supporter of our league, and more importantly, offers support programs and resources for LGBT youth. They care about you and want to help.
If you're an LGBT young person looking for someone to talk to or need some help, call Fenway Health's peer listening line at 1-800-399-PEER. You can also visit them online at www.fenwayhealth.org.
There's a whole world of people out there who care about you. Remember, it will get better.